Thinking about buying or selling here in the Inland Empire? Listen, some homes here, they are selling very fast, while others, not so much. In this video, I'm going to break down the 7 hottest selling cities here in the Inland Empire, even today, even in the market we're in, where homes they're pretty much flying right off the shelf. Before we do move on to that though, I want to put into context, meaning what would be considered fast and what would be considered slow. If we take a look at a couple of cities up in the high desert, Victorville, for example, Victorville is taking right now about 110 days to go into escrow, meaning it's taking 110 days for the house to go up for sale and then ultimately go into escrow. So 110 days, days on market. Another city right next door, Phelan's taking right about the same at about 114 days, whereas Hesperia, the fastest moving city in the high desert, is taking about 89 days to go into escrow. So diving into our list of the hottest, or I guess we could call it the fastest moving cities here in the Inland Empire, first up at number 7 is the city of Redlands. The homes here in Redlands, they're going into escrow on average in about 52 days, about half the time of Victorville. For me, Redlands is a city I do get asked quite a bit about, and honestly, I don't know if I'd say it really surprises me that I get asked about it. I mean, there's quite a bit here. First of all, for example, you have the downtown area here in Redlands, schools that routinely rank pretty high. There's a wide variety of homes here, from brand new homes to the older Victorian style homes. Bottom line, Redlands does have quite a bit to offer, which obviously does help lead to a pretty healthy demand for those looking to move here to Redlands. Hey, real quick, before we do get to the next 6 on this list, if this is your first time here, my name's Jose. I am your SoCal realtor. If you are thinking about buying or selling a home, don't hesitate to reach out. My team and I, we've helped meet people just like you, and we're here and ready to help you with your real estate needs too. But enough about that. Let's go ahead and get back to the video. At number 6, which actually is tied with number 7, Redlands. So I don't know, I guess you could say these are 6A and 6B, but anyway, at number 6, we have Riverside, which just like Redlands has an average time on market of 52 days. Considering how big Riverside is, I mean, there's quite a bit of options here, obviously quite a bit of homes to choose from. So to be moving that fast, the time on market to be that short, kind of impresses me actually. Yeah, Riverside is no small city. It is hands down, it's the largest city here in the Inland Empire. I mean, the population here is a little over 320,000 people. So it's a large city, and there really is quite a bit here, such as downtown Riverside. I mean, there's a lot here in downtown Riverside too. You have the Mission Inn Hotel, there's the Riverside Art Museum, the Fox Performing Arts Center, restaurants, coffee shops. Yeah, downtown Riverside, it's big, it's popular. In fact, you're gonna find a lot more than just Riverside residents there here in downtown. But listen, there's a lot more here in Riverside than just downtown Riverside, such as you have UC Riverside here, which is a very highly rated university. In fact, they were recently ranked number 76 in the country by US News and World Report's annual Best College Rankings. There's also numerous parks here. You have some great hiking here at Rubidoux and Sycamore Canyon Park, a couple of great spots, as well as a number of different sub-neighborhoods throughout the city of Riverside, each one offering something a little bit different than each other. One of the beauties of Riverside is it gives you that big city feel with so much here, kind of like what you might find in LA, but with one big difference. You don't get that big city LA home price tag.
I like the sound of that.
At number 5 is Moreno Valley, which sits right next door to Riverside. And while not quite as populated as Riverside, Moreno Valley is one of the bigger cities here in the Inland Empire with a population of just over 200,000 people here. The average days on market for Moreno Valley are actually really close to the first 2 on this list at 51 days. So again, it is roughly half of Victorville and Phelan. Yeah, Moreno Valley is definitely another city that I do get asked quite a bit about. And probably one of the more attractive things for Moreno Valley, and this is just my opinion anyway, my take, is that the homes here are, on average anyway, but the homes here are they're a little bit more affordable than many other cities here in the Inland Empire. I didn't say cheap, because we are in Southern California, and I don't think there's too much around here that most people would call cheap, but certainly a little more on the affordable side of things. And listen, there's been a lot of growth here in Moreno Valley. If we look back at just the last 20 years, there's been a lot of people that have moved in, a lot of new homes that have been built, a lot of new businesses, new restaurants that have come here. The mall, no, actually no, I take that one back. Actually, If I remember correctly, actually the mall was built back in the 1990s. Do me a favor if you would, if you know for sure if the mall was built back then, do me a favor, why don't you let us know in the comments below. Either way though, with the mall here, there's a lot of shopping opportunities here, a lot of restaurants that are here in the area. And if you do like the hiking that I was talking about in Riverside, well, here in Moreno Valley, they have a great hiking spot here too at the Box Springs Mountain Reserve. At number 4 is the city of Rialto. Bet you weren't expecting Rialto to make it this high up this list.
Yes, I did.
The average time on market here in Rialto, it's at 45 days, so yeah, it's moving pretty fast here. Not necessarily unhealthy fast. Now, if it was like 14 days or 15 days, kind of like what we were seeing back in 2021, then yeah, that was unhealthy. But no, at 45 days, it's not unhealthy, but it is moving pretty fast.
Okay, I can work with that.
Definitely a pretty popular city. I mean, there's 100,000 people that call Rialto home, so it's definitely not a small city, and there has been continued expansion that's going on here in Rialto, especially if we look up in the north half of the city, up above the 210 freeway. In fact, there's brand new homes that are still being built there today. Not to mention the Renaissance Marketplace here in Rialto, right off the 210 freeway. In fact, actually, this one, I don't even think it's been 10 years since they built this. Still really new, but very popular, really nice shopping center here in Rialto. At number 3, we have the city of Chino Hills, which really doesn't surprise me that Chino Hills would be this high on the list. It really is a pretty nice city. Not the cheapest though. Now, I'm not going to say it's necessarily the most expensive city here in the Inland Empire, but on average, the homes here, they are a little pricier. Also, Chino Hills is not one of the biggest cities here in the Inland Empire. I mean, there's 79,000 people that do live here, so it's not one of the smallest, but certainly not one of the biggest cities here in the Inland Empire. With all that said, though, I mean, it still is pretty popular. The homes here, they're coming off the market pretty quick. You're only looking at about 45 days on market for Chino Hills. Yes, another tie here. Rialto and Chino Hills are both at 45 days on market.
I figured that out.
At number 2, we have the city of Paris. Surprising to see Paris so high on this list, right? Honestly, it probably shouldn't be that surprising because there's been a lot of growth here in Paris. Currently, the population here in Paris, it's about 82,000 people. But if we go back to the year 2000, go back, 25 years, should be easy math, right? But if we go back 25 years back to the year 2000, the population was only about 36,000 people. That is a lot of growth in a pretty short time period. Yeah, there's been a lot of homes built here during that time. Some really beautiful homes, actually. And better yet, compared to some areas here in the Inland Empire, more affordable homes. Oh, and one of the more popular attractions or amenities or whatever it is you want to call it, but here in Paris, you have Lake Paris with boating and swimming and fishing and picnicking. It really is a lot of fun here. All of which has led to a pretty hot market here in Paris. In fact, the average days on market for Paris, it's only 39 days. And finally, the number 1 fastest moving city here in the Inland Empire is Rancho Cucamonga. Not by a lot though, because the average days on market here, it's at 36 days. So Rancho Cucamonga and Paris, they're number 1 and number 2. They're pretty close to each other. But listen, Rancho Cucamonga, it is definitely another very popular city here in the Inland Empire. And one of the bigger cities here in the Inland Empire. Not the biggest, the biggest city, that's definitely Riverside, but definitely one of the bigger cities here in the Inland Empire with a population of about 171,000 people. Honestly, it's probably not that surprising to see Rancho Cucamonga currently as the hottest or fastest selling city based on days on market. Not the cheapest city to buy in though. On average, this is one of the higher priced cities here in the Inland Empire. I can't tell you how often I've had people asking me about Rancho Cucamonga, and it doesn't surprise me. And Rancho Cucamonga does have a lot to offer, from the school districts to the homes here, to the shopping, to the amenities. Of course, with that said though, please hear me, I am definitely not saying that these are the only nice cities to look at buying a home here in the Inland Empire. Not even close, because there's a number of nice cities with very nice neighborhoods throughout the Inland Empire. These 7 just happen to be the fastest selling cities here in the Inland Empire. Of course, with that said, if you do have any questions or if you are thinking about buying or selling a home, my contact information is below. Feel free to reach out. Otherwise, until then, catch you on the next one.